Hello, 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 hello. How is it going? How are you all doing? It's I, Spotters. We'll be live in 2 minutes' time. But we're going to be going to be reading. We're not going to be playing, we're going to be reading, okay? That's a completely different ball game. Before we go ahead and start, I am going to quickly change screen. It's working. Good. This is a photo I've taken ages ago. I really need some some brightness or contrast onto it. Let's just say that. I'm just quickly hiding that layer. I did nothing. But yeah, we're gonna be live soon. Hello, how's it going, Russian? Hi, Dad. I'm not your dad, okay? Jesus, can you imagine me being your dad? So what? I think Twitch is having a mental breakdown today. Because the view count, it keeps pinging on off from 0 to like whatever. It's having a bit of a moment. Yes, unfortunately no Minecraft today. No, we're doing a bit great. Gonna give it 5 minutes, we're gonna have a little drink, and then we're gonna get started. We are on chapter 4 of The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer. The Land of Stories is the main title. There's 6 novels to it. Oh, we're currently on number 1, The Wishing Spell. I've completely forgot what it's called for a second. Yes, that is a thing you can do. Oh my god, Russian, you've been like following for like 1 month and 1 week today? I have Coke, water, and coffee with me. I feel like that's legal enough, right? That'll get me through like the first hour. Anyway, with that said, and Twitch chat not even where it should be. Hang on, guys. Hang on. This is stupid. One moment. Chatbot. What the heck is going on? My chatbot and everything's like disappeared. Oh well, we'll sort that out next time. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start. So, Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. Oh, there you go. It says it. It's saying it really light. Hang on. Let me change it to dark mode. Let me change it to light mode. Or let me just do that to it and just put hey in the chat or something. If you do put hey in the chat, it comes up with a reply. If Nightbot will work today. No? Nightbot's not gonna... Nightbot, you'll take some time today, bruh. Anyway, yeah, that'll do. We're gonna start. God damn, Pic's been there for nearly 9 months. Damn! Dad, what should I do today? I don't know what to do. First of all, not call me Dad, because I'm not your dad. Second of all, sit here and listen back to some fun, interesting story time, which we're about to start. I hear this. I see that before it even plays, because guess what? I haven't even tested the sound. Let's see if they're working. One moment. You guys are reminding me of things. I was like, yeah, I'll do this at the start of the stream, and I went to go and get myself a coffee. The one that should work is Daddy. And if Daddy works, then everything else works. Daddy? There you go. Now you guys can work everything.
Is Daddy gonna spank me?
I don't think Scream's working that well. Anyway, with that said, we're going to get ahead. Yes, that is my old count. We're going to get ahead, and we are going to start. So, the Land of Stories. FBI, open up! I really should have turned those sound lights off. Hello, Professor Virgo. Your savior has returned. God, someone help. Anyway, we're going to start off The Land of Stories, Chapter 4 of The Wishing Spell, Land of Stories, by Chris Colfer. Alex has been acting strange all week. Connor had noticed right away, because she wasn't as talkative and upbeat she usually was. Instead, she was very quiet and looked like she was in a deep state of confusion. When they ate breakfast, she barely acknowledged it when her brother said, "Good morning," during school. She stopped raising her hand as much. After school, she barely said a word to Connor while they walked home. And as soon as they got home, Alex would run up the stairs and look herself in the mirror in her bathroom, lock herself in her bathroom for the rest of the day. Sorry. "Are you feeling okay?" Connor eventually asked her. "You seem different." "Yes, I'm just tired," Alex said. Connor knew she must be tired, because she didn't seem to sleep anymore. Every time he had gotten
like
up.
that, Daddy? Is Daddy gonna spank me?
In the middle of the night to get a glass of water or use the bathroom. That week, the lights in her sister's room, in her bedroom, were still on, and he could hear her rustling around inside, working on something. He didn't have to be a genius to know that his sister was dealing with more than just insomnia. He had seen enough health videos at school to know that this girl, that girl's his sister. Oh, sorry guys. He had seen enough health videos at school to know that girls like his sister, age, were expected to start going through mood swings and changes. But Alex had become another person entirely. Alex has become another person entirely. Something very serious was bothering her, and she was keeping it to herself. "Can I borrow some of your pencils?" a wide-eyed and wide-awake Alex asked him late one night. It was like a peacock asking to borrow some feathers. He wasn't certain how to handle the request. Surely she wasn't still doing homework at this hour? "Don't you have, hundreds?" Connor asked her. "Yes, but I've lost them all," she said. He shared a few that he had with her. Alice took them and quickly disappeared into her bedroom again. She didn't even seem to mind that they were chewed on, or were missing erasers or rubbers. The next night, Connor kept waking up to a particular humming sound coming from Alex's room. It was quiet, but had a strong vibration that he could feel as much as he could hear. "Alex," Connor said, knocking on the sister's door. What is that sound? I'm trying to sleep, and it's driving me crazy." "It's just a bee. I shoot it out the window." Fantastic Alex responded from behind the door. "A bee?" a puzzled Connor asked. "Yes, a very big bee. It's mating season, so they're quite aggressive this time of year," Alex called out. Alright," Connor said and went to bed. But these happenings were nothing compared to the events during the next day at school. Can anyone tell me the names of the rivers that ran through the ancient... I'm just going to spell the words out that I can't say through this, because this is history and let's not go there. Mesopotamia ? Miss Peters asked the class during the history lesson. As usual, she had no volunteers. "Any more? Anyone?" Mrs. Peters asked. Everyone was looking at Alex and expecting her to shoot her hand to shoot up in the air any second, but Alex was just staring at the floor. She wasn't paying any attention to anything. The Tigers and Harumptus? Miss Peters informed the class. Can anyone tell me what the area between the two rivers is believed to be? She asked the question in Alex's direction, but there was no use. Alex was lost in her own thoughts. Miss Bailey, perhaps you have the answers? Miss Peters pleaded. To what? Asked Alex, snapping out of her trance. The question, Miss Peters said. Oh, Alex said. No, I don't. She rested her head over her hand and continued staring at the floor. Miss Peters and the rest of the class didn't understand what was happening. Alex always knew the answers. How were the class going to function without her? Excuse me, guys. The cradle of civilization, Miss Peters told the class, answering the question. Many believe the mankind started here, Miss Bailey. Alex sat up quickly in her seat. The shocking thing that had ever happened in the classroom that has occurred. Alice Bailey had dozed off in the middle of the class. I'm so sorry, Miss Peters, Alex pleaded. I don't know what came over me. I haven't been sleeping very well lately. Miss Peters was staring at her as if she had just witnessed a gruesome rural animal gave birth. That's all right, teacher said. Do you need to see the nurse? No, I'm fine. I'm just a little sleepy, Alex said. I promise that'll never happen again. Connor had been watching the whole thing like it was a train wreck. All he could do is shake his head at what had happened to Alex. Where's his real sister? She was turning to him. The strange humming sound Connor had heard the night before suddenly filled the classroom. Alex sat straight up in her seat, anxious. Her eyes grew larger than they had ever been before. Sorry, I had to move a page. Hang on, guys. Take a little sip of a drink. Let's just take the water instead, because that's going to make so much noise. Also, hello to everybody in the chat. How's it going? Excuse me. A few of the other students looked around, trying to figure out where the sound was coming from. Can anyone tell me the technologies, massive, that word again, MESOPOTAMIA, brought into the Bronze Age? Miss Peters asked, obviously, to the humming. Anyone? She asked again. Alex's hand shot straight into the air. Miss Bailey? Yes, Miss Bailey, Mrs. Peter happily called on her. May I use the restroom? Alex peeped. Miss Bailey sighed with disappointment. Yeah, you may, she replied. Before she had finished granting Alex permission to leave the classroom, the bathroom, that'd be an issue. Alex had already jumped out of her seat, grabbed her school bag, and headed out the door. Connor watched her sister leave. His eyes were bulging with suspicion while she was taking her backpack with her to the bathroom. He had to know what was going on. He was going to confront her sister here and now at school, where she had no place to run and no bedroom to lock herself into. Miss Peters, Connor called out. Yes, Mr. Bailey? Mrs. Peter asked. Can I see the nurse? He said. For what? What for? She asked. He hadn't thought this far into the plan. My elbow hurts. My elbow hurts, Connor said. Miss Peters startled at him blankly. She may have believed him more if he had told her he was a dinosaur. Your elbow hurts? She asked. Yeah, really bad. I banged it on my desk and now it's kind of killing me, Connor said, clutching his perfectly fine elbow. Miss Peters squinted and rolled her eyes. Two of her trademarks indicated of annoyancy in one expression. Fine, the teacher said, but I'm gonna have to write you a pass. Connor was out the door before she could finish her sentence. Meanwhile, Alex burst into the girls' restroom. She quickly looked underneath all the stalls to make sure she was alone. She zipped open her school bag, pulled out the Land of the Stories, and set it on top of a sink. It was glowing and humming more than ever. Please turn off, Alex said to the book. I'm at school, I can't get caught with you here. The sound and shrine slowly faded and the Land of Stories returned to being just a normal book. Alex sighed as relieved, but panicked once more when someone else suddenly charged into the restroom. It was a brother. Oh God. Bees don't have mating season, Alex, Connor said with tightened brow and his hand on his hips. I looked it up. They come from colonies just like ants. Even the big ones. They don't have schedules. Connor, what are you doing here? You can't be in the girls' bathroom, Alex shouted. I'm not leaving until you tell me what's going on, Connor demanded. You've been lying to me all week. I know something's up. I have twin torsion. Twin torsion. Twin torsion? Alex asked sarcastically. I made it up, Connor said. It means I know when something's bothering you, even if you tell me that nothing is. Sorry guys, got like hiccups and burps like one go just then. Sorry about that. Oh Connor, please, Alex interjected. Then after all the strange buzzing noises and late nights, I frighted Mum must have gotten you a cell phone and didn't want me to know about it. But then I remembered you have no friends, so who would you be calling and texting you? Alex grunted. Now, he was being accusating and rude, but I know you well enough to know that it would take something much worse to happen for you to act this way, Connor said. You're quiet. You don't know any of Miss Peters' answers, and you're falling asleep in class? You're acting like me. So just tell me, what's your problem? Alex didn't say a word. She just stared at her feet. She was so ashamed at how she had been acting. But she knew no one would believe her if she told them why she had been acting that way, except maybe her brother. Connor looked around the girls' bathroom. Gosh, it's so nice in here. The boys' bathroom looks like a bottom of hazardous waste barrels. Wait, why do you have Grandma's book with you? I don't know what's going on. Alex burst into loud and awkward tears. One cries when exhausted and overly stressed. Connor took a step back from his own protection. He had never seen his sister so hysterical. At first, I thought I was humiliating, Alex said. I thought maybe I was having a reaction, something Grandma made for us for dinner. That was the first night it happened, but then it kept happening, so I knew it wasn't a reaction. Alex, what are you talking about? Connor asked. The Land of the Stories book. Alex yelled. It glows. It hums. Every day it gets louder and brighter. I've lost so much sleep trying to figure out how and why it does it. It breaks all the laws of science. Ah, Connor said, with raised eyebrows. Alex, I think we should go to the nurse. You must think I'm insane, Alex told him. Anyone would come up with the conclusion unless they saw it themselves. But I promise, I'm telling you the truth. I don't think you're insane, Connor lied. Starting to think his sister was definitely going insane. It happened once or twice a day, Alex said. I was afraid Mum would find it, so I brought it to school. The last thing she needs to worry about is a possessed book lying around her house. Connor didn't know what to say. He briefly imagined the future trips he and his mother would take to see his sister in the local asylum and the wisecracks he would make about the cool white jackets she got to wear. Clearly, his sister had lost her mind, but after all they've been through, he couldn't blame her. He kept thinking about how his dad would have handled the situation. What's the... No, don't do that to me. Sorry, got someone in the background staring at me blankly in the face. What story would he have used to comfort Alex? Alex, Connor said, with understanding eyes, we've been through a lot in the last year. It's perfectly normal to feel overwhelmed, and the humming started again. The humming started again. They looked back at the Land of Stories on the sink. To Alex's relief and Connor's horror, it was glowing. It's glowing alright. Connor jumped back against the wall, and if he were in the presence of an explosive. The Land of Stories book, Connor yelled. It glows. It hums. I told you, Alex said. Connor's mouth was open so wide it almost touching his chest. It is radioactive? He asked. I doubt it, Alex told him. She reached out for the book. Don't touch it, Alex, Connor shouted. Relax, Connor, Alex assured him. I've been dealing with it all week. Using one finger, she flicked the book open, and the entire restroom was illuminated. All the illustrations and writing had disappeared, and the pages seemed to be made out of pure light. Alex leaned closer to the book. Listen, do you hear that? She asked. I can hear birds and leaves. I've never heard the sound come out of it before. Connor edged away from the wall and leant down with his sister. The sound of birds chirping, the trees blowing in the wind, echoing off the tile and porcelain in the bathroom. How is this possible? Connor asked. Are you sure it doesn't have batteries or something? Oh my god, this dude. My most educated analysis with all means of science. There's no possible explanation. Do you think Grandma knew about this? Connor asked. She had the book for years before she gave it to us. Do you think this happened before? I don't think Grandma would have given it to us if she knew what it was capable of, Alex said. You're right, Connor said. She still cuts up my meat when she comes to dinner because she doesn't trust me with knives. There's more, Alex said. She reached into her school bag and pulled out a pencil. Carefully, she placed the pencil on the open book. It quickly sank into the glowing page and disappeared. Where did it go? Connor sputtered into utter astonishment. I don't know, Alex said. I've been dropping things into it all week. Pencils, books, dirty socks, and anything else I could find that I knew I wouldn't miss. I think it may be some kind of portal? A portal to what? Connor asked. Alex didn't have an answer. Of course, there was one location she had hoped it might lead to. The twins leaned down even closer to the book, their noses almost touching it. They had to squint because it was so bright. Suddenly, a bright red bird flew out of the book. The twins screamed and ran around the room in panic. They bumped into each other, into the walls, and into the sinks. They were sinks as the bird zoomed above them. It was just as panicked as they were. Finally, Connor opened the bathroom door, and the bird flew out of the room and into the world. You didn't say things came out of it too? Connor yelled. I didn't know. That's the first time that's happened, Alex yelled back at him. The book slowly dimmed and returned to the normal. Connor's head was spinning, and he couldn't believe all the things he had just witnessed. No wonder Alex was having such a rough week. He now felt his own sanity might be slipping too. We have to get rid of this book, Connor exclaimed. After school, we should ride our bikes down to the creek and toss it in so no one ever finds it. We can't get rid of it, Alex said. It's Grandma's book. It's been in the family forever. Birds are flying out of it. Alex, I'm sure she'll understand, he said. What if a lion or a shark comes out of it next? I know it drives you crazy when you don't know about stuff, but this is one matter you need to let go of. It could be more dangerous than we think. Who knows what could happen? She knew her brother was right, but there was something about the whole situation that interrupted her past. The point of reason. I think you're overreacting, Alex said. I don't want to get rid of it until I know more about it. She closed the book, put it back in her school bag, and walked out of the restroom. Alex, don't walk away. Alex, Connor called out after her. The twins returned to the class. All the students were silently reading their history books. Alex, we need to talk, Connor whispered. Mr. and Mrs. Bailey, please have a seat and read the chapter of MESOPOTAMIA. Mrs. Peters ordered from her desk. Yes, Mrs. Peter, Alex said, and then returned to her brother and whispering, we'll talk about it later, Connor. Connor let out a sound similar to something a bear would make. Mr. Bailey! How was the nurse? Mrs. Peter asked. There was no need. My elbow started to feel much better before I got there, Connor said, holding the other's the other elbow than the one he had previously claimed was hurting. Mrs. Peter raises an eyebrow so high it almost goes above her. The twins sat at the desk and opened their history books, but neither of them could actually read. Their thoughts were so loud it was impossible to focus on anything. Connor kept looking up at her sister, hoping she would turn around so he could make some sort of gesture to make her understand how serious the situation was. Alice could feel her brother's eyes on the back of her head, so she remained facing forward, kept on ignoring him. Sorry. Gonna have a little drink. Gonna read some more in a bit. Hello there, the real comment. How are you doing? Or real comment. That's another word. Sorry, I haven't replied yet. And then the worst possible thing that could have happened. The Land of Stories began humming in the quiet classroom from the inside of Alex's bag. She looked back at her brother, finally making eye contact. What were they going to do? Miss Peters had been so caught up in her own lesson plan that she hadn't even heard it earlier. Was it possible for her to miss it again? I don't think so. How's it going, Russian? How's it going? What is that noise? Miss Peters demanded. All of the students were looking around the room, wondering the same thing. Alex and Connor were terrified. They felt like their stomachs had fallen out of their bodies. Miss Peters got up from her desk and started searching around the room like a Kryto, sniffing out its prey. She walked up and down the aisles of desks, getting closer and closer to Alex. If anyone knows what that is, they'd better tell me before I find out. The teacher warned. It's a bomb. Yeah, sure, the book is now a bomb. I don't actually know. I'm not even that far in to actually know what the book is. Apart from what the grandma used to watch, this we learned in this first stream. Well, this is what the grandma read to them when they were children. I'm going to reply back to more the noise. Only yes. I'm going to get back to reading more comments in a bit. I'm just going to finish this chapter and then I'm going to... It's only, a few more pages. Or I'll reply in when I take another drink break. So, yeah. Alex could feel her heartbeat in her throat. There was no telling what could happen if the teacher found the book. She could only imagine what a fuss the school would make out of the discovery. Perhaps they'd call the local news station. Perhaps the government officials would take the book away from experimental testing. Perhaps her family would be taken away because they had been in such close contact with it. Mrs. Peter arrived at Alex's desk. Miss Bailey, is there something in your bag? She asked her. All the colours of Alex's face drained away. She needed a miracle. Suddenly, a large history book flew out from her bag of the classroom and hit Miss Peters on the head, leaving a large dent in her curly hair. The entire class turned to the back of the room and saw Connor's extended hand. He had just thrown a book at their teacher. Nice. Mrs. Peters' face turned bright red. A charging ball would have seemed harmless compared to the way she was looking at Connor. Mr. Bailey, what on earth has got into you? She screamed. The whole class must have heard her. For a brief moment, Connor saw his entire life flash before his eyes. He honestly thought he was about to die. His face so white, he was almost transparent. I'm sorry, Miss Peters, Connor whimpered. There was a bee. I didn't mean to hit you. He lied. Steam was particularly coming out of the teacher's ears and nostrils. Detention, Mr. Bailey, for the rest of the week. Next week and the week after that, Mrs. Peters said. She returned to her desk and immediately began filling out every detention slip she had in her possession. Oh my god. Thankfully, imagine that at school these days. It's just an assistant now. Thankfully, the room had become so tense that everyone had forgotten about the humming sound, and even more thankful they hadn't noticed. Excuse me, gosh. It slowly faded away. Connor's mission was accomplished. He knew he had done the right thing for humanity. Not as a student, but as a brother, of course. Soon the bells rang, and the students left their desks and filed out of the classroom, except for Connor, who remained seated. Alex walked up to him. Thanks for that, she said. You owe me one, Connor told her. She nodded and left the classroom to walk home alone. Connor remained seated until Mrs. Peters finished filling out the detention slips. Come here, Mr. Bailey, she said. Connor approached her desk as if it was on fire. Throwing things in my classroom will never be tolerated. Do you understand me, Mr. Bailey? She said, heavily pronouncing each syllable of each word. One more incident like that, and I'll have you expended. He grumbled and nodded. She handed him a large sack of detention slips. Your mother will need to sign all of these, Mrs. Peters told him. He nodded again. I'm really sorry, Connor said. I hope I didn't hurt you. He was so genuine that even Mrs. Peter could sense his regret. She knew that deep down, Connor had always been a good kid, a horrible student, but a good kid, nonetheless. It's all right, Mr. Bailey, she said. I believe I have underestimated the effect of your family situation has had on you and your sister. I'm going to contact your mother with a list of different after-school programs I think you and your sister should take part in, as well as a list of self-help books that may be beneficial. Connor nodded in agreement. I think if you had some place to escape to once in a while, it would help you deal with whatever's going on, whatever you're going through, she said. Connor continued nodding. If there was ever a time in his life he nodded an escape from reality, it was now, and he was sure his sister would agree. And then, like lightning, the thought hit him. Oh my god, Alex! Connor thought. She's gonna travel into the book herself. That's why she's been holding it. That's why she's refused to get rid of it. Connor dropped all the detention slips and bolted towards the door. I'm sorry, Miss Peters. I can't go to detention today. Something has just came up. Mr. Bailey, get here! Get back here right now! She yelled after him, but it was too late. He was already gone. Connor was running as fast as he could down the street. Alex had gotten so far of a head start. Would he make it home in time to stop her? What if she already What about she's already gone by now? The time he got there, what if... The time he got there, what if he never saw her again? His feet began to ache, a horrible pain grew in his side, and his heart felt like a beaten out of his chest. But he continued running. He just prayed he wasn't too late. Going to take a little drink. Hope you guys are actually enjoying this session. I'm actually really enjoying this book. What about you guys? How's it going? You still here? Say hey or hi or ho or whatever. This only like a page and a half, and then be the next chapter. So we'll do a proper talking about chapter 5. What are you putting there? Wrong chair. Will got it on the wrong chair. It hadn't been more than 5 minutes since Alex has gotten home. That's alright. That's how the next sentence starts anyway. Oh my gosh. Nice. Don't mind me. Just drinking my soul away of coffee. Ready? Here we go. Oh my gosh, now the hiccups are starting again. I don't have an actual face cam on my computer, so I can't actually show my face. But I will be able to in the future. It's something I'm going to be doing in the future. Oh, I can't swallow. I've got something stuck in my throat, guys. Right, we'll do a page and a half, and we'll see if I can see how long this goes. So I need to actually like have a moment to get whatever's out of my throat. I'll do it now, but it's only a page and a half way till next episode, anyway. Oh my god, excuse me. And now I keep burping as well. That's not good. Sorry about that, excuse me. And we return. It hadn't been more than 5 minutes since Alex had gotten home when the land of stories began acting up again. She ran upstairs into her bedroom, promptly shut the door behind her. Alex took the land of the stories out of her school bag and placed it on her bedroom floor. She opened it and she opened the cover, and her room lit up from its golden glow. She smiled to herself. Alex had always hoped something magical would happen to her, and now something finally was. She pulled out a pencil from her school bag and placed it on top of the book, and watched it disappear. Alex looked around the room for other disposable things she could drop into the book. She was out of pencils, and the book dropped into the books. And Alex looked around the room for disposable things she could drop into the book. She was out of pencils, and the books left in her bookshelf were ones she wanted to keep. She had looked down at her school bag. She didn't have plenty of school bags. She did have plenty of school bags. She placed her whole bag on top of the book and watched it too slowly sink into a storybook. Where were all these things going? Was it teleporting them to another part of the world? Would she find a pile of her school supplies in India or China? Or did the book send the items someplace else entirely? Was it possible they were going to another world? Was it the world that Alex secretly hoped for? There was only one way to find out. It was an idea she had managed to suppress all week. What if she went into the book? No She couldn't possibly do that. Such a stupid thing. What if she never came out? But what happens if she stuck her head into the book? What would happen? Would it hurt? Would her whole arm disappear? As curiosity ruled her caution, she sat her knee and bent over the book carefully. Alex started with just her fingertips. So far, so good. There was no pain. She only felt a warm tingle sensation. Alex reached far. Alex reached further. She was wrist deep now, and still nothing had happened that worried her. She went further. The book was up to her elbow. Sorry, hang on. Some of this English doesn't make sense by this person who's wrote it. She went further. The book was up to her elbow. If the book hadn't been there, her hand wouldn't surely still sticking throughout the ceiling downstairs. Alex leaned forward even further, almost shoulder deep into the book. She moved her arm around, seeing if there was anything to grab on it, inside it. Suddenly, her bedroom door burst open, and Connor ran inside, sweating and out of breath. "Alex, don't do it!" ran inside. He completely started her. Alex lost her balance and fell headfirst into the bush. "Alex!" Connor cried out to her sister. He jumped to the ground, trying to grab her foot before she disappeared entirely, but it was too late. Alex had fallen into the land of the stories. And that will leave us to chapter 5. That was chapter 4. Chapter 5 is called From the Mouth of a Frog. So, gonna have a little rest. Yeah. Gonna have a little drink. Because, god damn, I'm thirsty. Gonna see what messages I've got, because gone for a while. Excuse me. Of course. Sorry. Excuse me. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Have a little drink moment. We're on chapter 5 now. It's up to you. What do you guys want to do? I think we should read a bit more into chapter 5 and hopefully get to the end of chapter 6. But I am thinking about just doing today's chapter for now, because we have quite far to go. And I might do it from now on a chapter stream, because it is about an hour per chapter of reading. Kind of give you guys more and more videos to watch, and you can be quicker to have hour slots to get up to, where we are. The next one is, what is it? We're on page 80 now. So we've got 24 pages to read. We just read about 24. That's 19 pages, I think. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave it there for today. So that is chapter 4 read. I said I'll do chapter 5 and 6, but my voice is going really bad, guys, and it's really dry. So I'm going to carry on a later date. And it is getting late. But yeah. Thank you for everybody who came along. I will probably reconvene tomorrow. Because my voice is like dry enough that someone's like put something in my mouth and I can't swallow. Also, there's something stuck in my mouth which doesn't want to come out of my mouth. That doesn't also help, and it's making it harder to read and talk. But for now, thank you for everybody coming along. Hope you enjoyed this picture. I'm going to have this up every single time we are streaming this because it's something I've taken and something from me to you guys. Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to be heading over to my Discord chat. If you put !mod Discord, which I will do right now, or one of my mods, see who beats me. That'd be just me doing it. If you go over there to my server, I am dragging myself over right now, as you're about to hear what I'm on, into after stream. So join me there, and I'll be there for you guys to talk to. I'll see you soon, and thank you for everybody for coming along. Bye. Also, I kind of quickly just forgot to say one thing before I went. If you're on my Discord, please make sure to tick the rules and do the pings on there. Otherwise, you will not be able to go through the whole server. And yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for everybody coming, and I'll see you soon here for more The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer. My gosh, I can't talk today. Yeah. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day.